Hello my dear viewers, this is Alex Cheshire Game, and today I want to show you the story about the shaders, like how it's beautiful, interesting technology discovered, and from what it started, and then what we have now in the 2025, and also what we can expect in the future. So let's see. Podcast The Story of Shaders Part 1, How It All Began. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are starting a short series about shaders, those special tools that make games look cool and beautiful. But how did shaders even start? Who came up with the idea? Let's go back in time. In the early days of video games, graphics were very simple. Games used 2D sprites, and everything looked like flat images. There were no lights, shadows, or fancy effects. But as computers got better, developers wanted more realistic graphics. In the 1980 and 1990, some smart people started thinking, what if we could control how each pixels look? Not just draw it, but change how it looks, with lights, color, shadows, and movement. One of the first big ideas came from Pixar. Yes, the same Pixar that makes animated movies. In 1988, they introduced something called the renderman shading language. It let artists write small programs to change how surfaces in 3D sense looked. This was the first real shader language. Game developers saw this and thought, hey, we want that too. But it took time. Early games consoles and PCs weren't strong enough to use shaders like that. They need special hardware, graphics card that could run these little programs. By the early 2000, things changed. New graphics card came out that could run vertex shaders and pixel shaders, small scripts that taught the computer how to draw and light each part of a 3D object. This was a huge moment. From now on, games could look much better, more real, more dynamic, and more exciting. That's how shaders started, from a simple idea, what if could control how things looks, pixel by pixel. And from that idea, a whole new world of visual magic began. So let's go to the part 2, modern shader magic. If you grew up in the 90s, you probably remember the magic of games like Quake, Half-Life, Diablo 2, or even Doom. Those games opened doors to new worlds. They didn't need crazy graphics to feel amazing. They had soul. But now, let's talk about what shaders can do today. Because, wow, it's like real-time surgery. modern shaders can do things we only dreamed of back in the day. Lighting that feels real. Shaders today can simulate how lights bounces off walls, water, metal, even your character's eyes. This is called ray tracing. It's like teaching light how to behave in a digital world. Want to see it in action? Look at Cyberpunk 2077 with ray tracing on. The city at night, glowing sights, reflections in puddles, it's beautiful. Weather and atmosphere. Shaders now create rain that splashes, fog that moves with the wind, and sunlight that breaks through trees. In Red Dead Redemption 2, look at the way mist rolls over the mountains in the morning. That's shaders working like poetry. Water that moves like real water. Back then, water was a blue texture. Now, waves move with the wind. In games like Sea of Thieves, the ocean feels alive. Shaders give it depths, reflections, and motion. Fire, smoke, magic. Ever cast a spell in a fantasy game and saw glowing runes spin in the air, or fire explode with sparks and smoke? That's all done with particle shaders, tiny visual effects that respond to light, movement, and even sound. Characters with emotions. Shaders can now help animate faces with soft skin, real-time shadows, even sweet and tiny eye reflections. In The Last of Us Part 2, characters feel human. You see pain, joy, fear, and shaders help make that possible. What's wild is, all this power comes from that same little idea we talked about last time. What if we could change how each pixel looks? Today, we're not just changing pixels. We're painting entire dreams in motion. For many of us who grew up in the golden era of PC gaming, shaders are not just a tech trick. They are the brushstrokes in the artwork of interactive worlds. Games are still about stories, emotions, and imagination. Shaders just help bring the canvas to life. Next time, in the next part, we'll dive into how you can play with the shaders, even if you're not a programmer using tools in modern engines and modes, like you can see now in my this video, because I discovered that I can use this magic of shaders, and I want to use it in my next shorts for a Fortnite, for other games, and you can see a few effects with the shaders that I can use for now in this video. So if you want to use the same, You can use the OBS program, then you can use the shaders in the source that you add in your OBS, and you can choose one of the many shaders in the gallery, and that's all. You always have the choice. You can choose one of the maybe 50 or 70 shaders. You can set your personal options. You can set whatever you want, and you can see that this can looks very well, very interesting, not simple. If you want some help to add shaders into your channel, into your movies, I can help you. So text me in the comments below, and I can help you to make the same if you want. So podcast number 3, then us now versus now, a pixel's journey. Today, and in this part 3, let's take a walk through time. We will look at how shaders have changed from their early, clunky beginnings in the 90s to the mind-blowing visuals of games like Elden Ring, Doom: The Dark Ages, and other AAA titles in 2025. Let's compare. Back in the day, in the late 90s and early 2000s, shaders were simple. They were like basic tools, a way to add light or color to a surface. Most of the time, they only worked in a fixed ways. Developers had to fake shadows, water and fire with textures and tricks. Games like Quake 3 Arena or Max Payne looked amazing for their time, but the shaders were limited. Water didn't move much. Shadows were just dark spots. Lights didn't bounce or reflect. It was cool, but also kind of flat. Now, in 2025, modern shaders are more like smart little artists living inside your graphic card. They think, they react to the world. They can change based on light, motion, weather, even sound. Let's look at a few examples. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth 3, 2025 DLC. This world is filled with foggy forests, glowing ruins, and soft golden skies. By the way, I want to play in this game, and I add it into my wishlist in the Steam, but I still wait a great discount. Can't buy it now, but I believe that someday I go to my Steam account and see that the huge discount available, and we can see together in this channel the Elden Ring. I think this is a great game to play. So let's continue. But that really brings it alive are the shaders. Volumetric light coming through broken windows. Mist that dances around your boots. Armor that reflects moonlights in real time. These aren't painted backgrounds. These are living, breathing space powered by modern shading. Let's look at another example at the Doom, the Dark Ages 2025. Remember classic Doom? Flat sprites and bloom everywhere. Now look at the Dark Ages. The fire from your shotgun casts shadows that move. Demons glow with infernal energy using subsurface scattering shaders, where even the red glow under their skin looks real. Walls melt with heat, armor reflects sparks mid-fight. Every frame is an explosion of dynamic light and chaos. So let's look at the number 3 example, like Starfield, Planetfall 2025 expansion. I see it from other YouTubers and I see this is also interesting game, but if I could, I start from Elden Ring, I think. So let's see about the Starfield. I think I can play and I hope we can see it in this channel too, but not in the first place. In the first place is the Elden Ring, I hope. In space games like this, Starfield, shaders simulate planets from orbit, including clouds, shadows on the surface, atmosphere effects, and cities glowing under alien suns. These aren't just static scenes. Everything responds to your ship, the time of day, and even temperature changes. So, what's the big differences? Let's look. The old shader from 1990s to the 2020 or 2025. Old shader, fixed, simple effects, and now dynamic, real-time simulation. Previously, light and shadow are faked, lights and shadow are faked, and now global illumination and ray tracing. Previously, flat water, flat fire, and now animated waves, glowing fire with smoke. Previously, few materials, plastic and metal, and now realistic skin, clothes, fog, glass, and other. Previously, no interactions with world, and now fully reactive to motion, time, and light. Why it matters to us, the gamers from the 90s? Because today's shaders aren't just about graphics. They create atmosphere. They let us step into living worlds we could only imagine when we played Hexen, System Shock, or Gothic 2. Now with shaders, those dreams are in motion. Worlds breathe, skies change, fire dances, and everything feels real. It's not about photorealism, it's about emotion, immersion, and wonder. And shaders are the secret sauce behind it all. So in the next part, I want to talk with you about how modders and indie developers use shaders to create unique styles, from pixel art to dreamlike visuals. And also, let's talk about the future we can still play. So the part 4, future we can still play. In the last episodes we walked through the birth of shaders, their evolution, and how they shape today's most breathtaking games. But now, let's go forward. Now just a few years, let's talk about the shaders of the future. Yes, the ones we might live to see if we take care of ourselves and use the gifts of the modern science. Let's begin. Let's talk about what we can see if we use some care about our health and try to live maybe 90, maybe 100 years. Maybe. Let's try. So, let's imagine what's coming next for shaders. Right now, game engines like Unreal Engine 5, Unity RDRP, and future versions of NVIDIA RTX are already exploring things like real-time global illumination that reacts to every ray of light, procedural shaders that create themselves based on the world, AI-assisted shaders that learn how surfaces behave from real-world footage, neural rendering, where games guess the next visual frame the way our brain does. But that's just the start. The road ahead, shaders by the decade 2030, the interactive world era. Let's see in the future what we can see in this future in 2030. Shaders will respond to your emotion, posture, or even heartbeat. Worlds will change around you. Angry? The sky may darken. Calm? The water will shine. In games like Elden Scrolls, maybe 7 or Horizon Origins, you won't just see beauty, you will feel connected to the world itself. So let's see at the future on the 2040. The organic shader age. What if? Let's imagine. With brain-computer interfaces and biofeedback, shaders will simulate not just light, but emotion and memory. Think of a scene glowing like your favorite childhood memory. Imagine a desert like that feels lonely, or a forest that comforts you. Shaders will be alive, built with quantum simulations and real-world scanned matter. And let's see in the future what if in the 2050s. The hyper-real dreamscapes. Games will mix augmented reality and dream data. Yes, real dreams turned into landscapes. You might walk in a world created by your own mind, with shaders shaping in real time. Shaders of fire made of time, water made of search, lights that respond to your voice. And let's imagine what we can have in a maybe if we can live 100 years or close to this time, what we can see in the future. The final frontier, signed shaders. If we live long enough, and we might, thanks to organ printing, biohacking, gene correction, age reversal tech, and implants for mind-body connection, then we could witness AI shaders that build new worlds while we play. Whole universes rendered in real time, tailored to your soul, your journey, your dreams. Games won't have levels anymore. They'll have living, endless universes, constantly reshading and reshaping based on your action, choices, and desires. You'll stand on the edge of a cliff, look across a digital sky, and the clouds will whisper your story. Why does this matter? Because of us, the 90s kids, the floppy disk warriors, the CRT screen soldiers. This is our mythology. Our books of magic weren't made of paper. They were booted from DOS. Our dreams lived in pixels. And now, science and technology are giving us the chance to keep exploring these electronic universes far beyond today. Not just as players, but as immortals of imagination. So take care of yourself. Sleep well, eat well, learn new things, use tech with wisdom, because the greatest shader of all is life itself. And if we treat it right, we will be there in the year maybe 2099 or maybe more far future. Watching the sky ripple with dreams rendered in real time, pixel by pixel, by love, wonder and cold. In the next episode, we leave shaders behind and dive into another deep corner of game dev. Maybe should design, physics engines, AI and NPCs, or something else equally magical. Until then, stay curious, stay healthy, and keep pressing start. See you in the next world. Bye bye.